Hey, hey, you know the score. Just gotta let a few people know that I've gone live. And just sharing it out as you do. So, how is everyone today? Everyone, i.e. one. Who is in the house? Somebody's there lurking. I will take a guess and say, Tony. Okay, now we have 2 people in the house. So if anybody wants to go and share for me, that would be really appreciated. I've just done it around the Telegram chats, and I've just put a post up on Twitter. I think that's about all I could do. I could do Facebook. Not really a big one for Facebook, I'm afraid. So let me just put one up. Going live. Come join for a chat. Right, so we've got 3 people in. That's enough for me to start. Happy Monday. You're right, Tony. 4 people in. See, you have to excuse me. I've just literally rushed back from the gym, grabbed something really, really quickly, eaten it, thrown the virus on the virus tracker thing on the laptop while I was eating, and I'm just running it on. I'm a bit warm, very, very warm at the moment. But how is everyone doing? Sorry, that's 3 minutes in. I haven't really said much. Yeah, interesting times. I have spent the last week and a bit doing nothing but watch YouTube, trying to feed all my different cups, my spiritual, my factual, my crypto, my politics, just literally trying to get an overview of exactly what's going on at the moment. Got some really big things going on in the UK, which you're not even hearing about it on the news. Well, it's not on the radio. I don't really watch the TV, but basically, yeah, it's pretty damn awful what's going on right now, and most of that's to do with, would you believe, shooting? 11-year-old boy was shot on his way to school in the UK. We don't do gun culture. And somebody sat on the top in Southampton. They locked down Southampton. Somebody stood on the top of one of the shops, or 2 people stood on the top of one of the shops in Southampton, and was with 2 guns. Was literally just sitting up on the top. Kung Fu Tuber, hi honey. All okay here, boo. Just my first day back after a week's holiday. Good for you. Good for you. So yeah, there's a few different things that are going on. I've got an update on the DUMBs, the deep underground military bunkers, today. So that was interesting. That was only 2 days old as well. I was watching Trump on what he was talking about. He's been dropping some really big hints on how things are progressing in code, as he does. Obviously the UK, we're being pushed towards a civil uprising, right? They can't get us out in the streets up against the BLMers, because it fell flat on its face, didn't it? Women at your age are only in Fiat, not many are in XRP. King of fun. I know, right? Well, women at my age, women at any age, there's not many females in the crypto community, is there? So I won't take that as a cuss. But there you go. Yeah, it's interesting times that's going on at the moment. I've been watching some of the deep dives that people have been doing, and looking at, because there's some really disturbing facts that are coming out. The 11-year-old passed away. Oh my God. Do you know what? Somebody needs to swing for that, because who shoots a child? Who shoots a child? How to guarantee that people go up in arms, right? You shoot children. The problem is that the last time there was 3 little boys, and it was a racist thing. 3 little white boys in one somewhere in the within the M25, I think it was. But don't quote me on that one. But they were walking to school and they got mowed down in a car. I told you he is dead. King fact, no, he's shot. He got shot. Never said he was dead. It's he got airlifted to hospital. But there's some bits going on. You've got the guys over in Southampton shooting or with guns on top of a building. You've got kids that are being killed. You've got someone stabbed in Birmingham. Not sure whether that was something that was a killing. But yeah, oh, it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. It's and this is coming on top of lockdowns, masks, civil liberties being taken away. You know, this is getting to a ridiculous situation. It's almost like they want us to come out in the streets. Now, we had 35,000 people take to the streets in London last weekend, and there was a really nice lady of Twitter that she is called. God, I shouldn't have been so far. Leonie. And basically her and her mother went to the march, and she said there was like thousands of people turned up, thousands of police turned up as well. Got airlifted to Edinburgh. Okay, Tony, there were 4 stabbed in this vicinity in the same area. It's getting ridiculous. King of Fun actually visited Scotland the 23rd to the 27th, which was absolutely fantastic. Don't know what that was. The one at Birmingham you're on about, though. Tis me, Denny. Hey, honey. Right. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that are going on. I mean, I've been doing a deep dive into FEMA camps in America. Now there was a really deep YouTuber that went into because my brain's all over the place at the moment. Right, basically, we have a situation where we've got the deep state, New World Order, Trump standing in front of that, checkmating every move that they make. So basically, there was a lady who did a deep dive, and she found paperwork that was set. Now it's the WHO, the World Health Organization, and the United Nations were set to bring in under the New World Order, guys, health passporting, right? So this was something that was going to lead in. So the pandemic was set up. What we're going through at the moment is a dry run. It's not actually a pandemic. It's not something that's there. There is a flu which they're blaming, but it's not doing what they thought it was going to do. Obviously, we're seeing the numbers come down. We're seeing the fact that it's not as contagious as what they were saying. That it's hitting the old and infirm, which all diseases do. So but that's standard, sadly. So basically, we've got that situation, and what they're doing is they're using that to see how far they can push us. Right. At the same time, what they're trying to do is they're trying to take down America, which is what the BLMers and the Antifas are all about. Now, unfortunately, what they didn't expect was that the BLMers and Antifa people wouldn't actually have traction taken elsewhere in the world, which they haven't. Basically, no one turned out in the streets the way that they were supposed to for the London riots. And the trouble is, if not a lot of people turn out, then the Antifa and BLMers are standing at the front, where they usually stand behind, and then they use people in front of them as a human shield. So Americans, stay home. Get your kids to stay home. If your kids stay home, they can't be used as a human barrier, and these BLMers and Antifa people will be taken down quicker, right? And in fact, they might even give up and go away, because if they haven't got the numbers, they're not going to come out fighting. Yes, it is dusk in the UK. How you doing, Rising? Balls in the house. Now, so basically we've got that scenario. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take down the whole government in America, because if they can get rid of the Constitution, constitutional rights, and bring in, under New World Order, the guise of health passporting, then what they're going to do is they're going to have people afraid in their homes, not allowed to move around unless they've got vaccination records. Obviously, we've seen the patents for the nanotechnology, which will go into later vaccines. Bill Gates has already come out and turned around and said one vaccine is not going to cure all. There's going to have to be multiple amounts of vaccines. So yeah, and he can put whatever he wants in the following ones, because once you've had one, you've got to keep on going. And what I would turn around and say is you need to look at the CDC website and find out that everybody that's died of the COVID as such, every single one of them had a flu vaccination, right? So, not being funny, you need to get that right in your head, right? It's what they're doing, and from what I can make out, and I watch Robert Kennedy Jr., and from what he's saying, these vaccinations aren't really doing what they're supposed to be doing. What they're doing is they are reducing the body's ability to fight disease. So in a very long, obvious way. So that's what they're going to do. The vaccination passports is how they're going to control the people. At the same time, we've got the new financial system coming in, which means they're going to control the money. Hopefully, it's not going to come in the way that it can be, in a way that it can be tampered with, because we want it to be completely autonomous. We have our own money and nobody else. There's no third party that can go in and touch it. What about UN banning polio vaccine and all the vaccines being destroyed? I didn't hear about that, Rising, but I will go and take a look into that, because the polio vaccines, there's an outbreak of polio in Africa where Bill Gates has been vaccinating kids with the polio vaccine. So, that man has got a lot to answer for, But anyway, let me finish this train of thought. So basically what we've got is a situation where they're going to take down the Americas, the health passporting. What they're going to do, they reckon, and this is their own figures, they reckon that they would need to put away 25 million people in the Americas in order to facilitate the takeover that they want to do. That's what the FEMA camps are for. But don't panic, right? Don't panic, because Trump Hope he's going to do what he says on the tin. Trump has checkmated them yet again. I heard today that basically they went into Germany and they lifted 30,000 paedophiles from the Black Forest in Germany, which is where the Rothschilds hunt humans, right? They picked up 30,000, right? Now, from what I understand, these are being done not as paedophiles, crimes against humanity, because you're talking about children. They hunt kids with dogs. And what they're saying is that the paedophiles grab the kids, have their time with them, and then give them over to be hunted. But basically, 30,000, and those 30,000 are being taken over to America because Trump actually has an execution order. So out of all the places in the world, America has an execution order for anybody that actually plays with kids, right? Standard. And that means that basically the paedophiles around the world are going to be put into America. There's 3 different places. Anyone remember when Trump was saying about buying Greenland? Right? I think it's either the Netherlands or Holland that own Greenland. Greenland has an area that's designated as the equivalent of Guantanamo Bay, right? You can't escape from it. It's not possible. And that's where the elite crimes against humanity people are being kept. And from what I hear from the guy that was on the channel, Gene, his name is, he was saying that Epstein is alive and in this place. Obama's over there, and he's just got a body double that's wandering around, as is Clinton. Clinton's dead. She died 4 months ago. Who was the other one? Obama, Epstein, Clinton. I think that was it. It'll come to me. Anyway, so they're over there, right? So, and the people that you're seeing are just body doubles, which is why their teeth don't match. So there's an awful lot of people that if you look at their pictures now and their pictures before, they're not the same people. And you can tell because faces are slightly different, and then their teeth are wiggledy, whereas they had perfect teeth before, that sort of thing. Where can you listen to this? Right, so I have, let me see, just stay there 1 second. If I go to my history, I can put a link up because it was pretty damn awesome. Right, Kirsten W, Kirstenw. Oh, for God's sake, why can't I? Okay, I can't share because I can't get the link. Let me see if I put, go away. Let me see. Right, can people see that link? Hey Devon, Steve, how you doing? Do I like Ash Phillips' channel? Ooh, don't know, but I will take a look. Try that link. Does it work? Rising Green says, I saw documentation showing Bill and Melinda Gates were hung in India 2013 following 2012 tuberculosis High Court ruling. That actually matches. If you go on to Ancestry, hi Tony G, perfect. If you go into Ancestry, it actually says that they died in 2013. Not what they died of, but that they died. And again, look at the pictures. There's a website called Weekend Warrior. Now, Weekend Warrior takes things like the Bill and Melinda Gates and then shows pictures of them from a while ago against pictures now. And they're not the same people. Honestly, they think we're stupid. Even with aging and things like that, it's just not the same people. Now, that link, you can see why it would benefit the board to continue the personal. The doubles differ hugely. Yeah, they do. But it's all got to come to an end. It's got to come to an end. Sorry, itchy back, hopping bit. It's got to come to an end because people are noticing, and it's starting to make people wake up. So one way or t'other, people are waking up because they're looking at the pictures of them, especially when they see them side by side. Kamala, look at her. That's not the same person. They're just not in what universe, right? Is she exactly the same person that was around 5 years ago? No. But basically, yeah. So I'm digressing. So that link there takes you to this woman. Now, Kirsten, she has an awful lot of information, and she's been going for a very, very long time. Now, she's got a guy called Gene, Gene, that she talks to live. I'll send it to you, Darren. And basically, she speaks to Gene live, and he has an update of all of the different underground bunkers, which ones have been taken over. Sometimes he comes out with some information about how many children are saved. Sometimes he doesn't. Unfortunately, sometimes that means that the kids didn't survive. I'll share it. I will share it on my Twitter. Yeah, I won't do that now. I'll share it on my Twitter. But yes, her name is Kirsten with a C, Kirstenw, all one word. Kirsten W. Now, she has some good information. Basically, what she's also turned around and said, what she also turned around and said is that you need to watch your food because they are doing something like they're altering. They're putting some stuff in the food that's going to make you really ill, which is going to have the same symptoms as COVID, but it's really dangerous. And what she's saying is, watch your frozen food, watch your dairy. So, you know, if you can, then just stay away from it for a while, because that's how they're going to introduce a new wave of. Because obviously COVID doesn't do what they said it was going to do, so they've got to now make it something slightly worse. The other thing that I did hear about, and again, I will share, there is a guy called Robert. Really well-known guy. Robert David Still. Now, he did a really good interview. Oh, go away. Can you just take that? What is next after? It's jumping. Instead of jumping to pages, it's or jumping to the page, it's jumping to the next page. Ridiculous. Right, so I think I've worked out how to do this. So if I go to my own page, under my own channel, where I'm doing live, then basically I can watch myself looking down. Sorry, this is rude, but maybe that'll work. Right, so I've put a link up. It might take a little while before it comes up. That is the one with Robert David Steele. Robert David Steele was talking to two other guys, and he was talking about the fact that the latest, you remember the Hurricane Laura, escalated too quickly, not physically possible, and the way that it moved was being manipulated. And what it did was it took out the rice crops, right? So what they're doing, the deep state has control of the thing that controls the weather, and what they're doing is they're taking out the America's ability to make their own food. So be prepared for a food shortage, not a famine. So they're coming up with lots of different ideas, and Robert David Steele said he's going to try and get in touch with Trump to let Trump know that they need to take it over, because these people are actually going to be trying to take the food away from the people. I mean, how to control people? I mean, it's disgusting. These people, I hope to watch every single one of them get guillotined, I'll tell you. But anyway, so that was one of the things that they were talking about the fact that you need to grow your own food, that they're going to go for the crops. They're destroying the crops to be harvested this year, and they're going to go for the areas that are planting next year. 17 people in the chat. Yay. Keep saying 17. 6 thumbs up. Fantastic. So you've got that. So then you've got this guy, Gene, he's talking about the deep underground bunkers. And in America, you're so lucky, you're about down to 16. You've got about 92, I think, % of the deep underground bunkers have been taken over, right? So they've managed to take them back. Unfortunately, in Australia and New Zealand, that's down to 15%. And in the UK, they've only managed to clear the London and the Liverpool ones. So, and that apparently is about 18-19% of the total amount that we've got in the UK. Really bloody interesting, the different places that we've got in the UK, and Wales and Ireland, that they've got to keep on trying. They also was talking about the Falklands. Really interesting about the Falklands. He reckons that some of the technology that they've got is using the Earth's movement to create a free energy supply. So watch that space on that one, because that was really interesting. He didn't go into massive amounts of information on it. He just said that it was something that they'd taken on. Tarot by Margaret. Margaret, I was just talking about you, Leonie. Margaret and Leonie were in London on the weekend, and went to the march, and she said it was bloody awesome. So is that processed foods, or do you reckon vegetarian corn is okay? Right, they said frozen food. So I would reckon that's all frozen foods. Just for now, we're not talking about for a massive amount of time, just for a few months. Obviously, if they're going to try and get something into the food line, I would assume that they're going to go for like the frozen dinners and things like that, but not guaranteed. And if they're going for dairy, that's fresh. So, you know, you can't be absolutely certain. And again, not guaranteed that that's good intel, but that's one false flag that they're talking about. Now, the other one that I started to talk about was the Robert David Steele one. And basically, he turned around and said that what they're going to do is they're going to have a false solar flare. And they're going to control the weather to make it look like it's actually a solar flare happening, right? And it looks like they're going to turn the electricity off, release some sort of EMP, whatever it is, and take out technology. So all I'm saying to people is, like me with my phones, you know, if you're not using your phone, stick it into a Faraday pouch of some kind, put your nano away somewhere safe. If you can get, I'm going to get something for my laptop so I can put that away when I'm not using it, just in case, right? It's going to fry things like your televisions, but who cares? You know, if we know it's coming, you can do things like switch your electricity off. I don't know how effective that will be against an EMP, but the last time that we had a solar flare, which was quite some time ago, and we've got a lot more cabling now. But what it did was it set light to the copper cabling and literally created fires through setting light to the copper cabling. So I just turned around and said, if you can turn your electricity off, unplug everything, they've got to let us know it's on the way, because they want the fear factor to go up, right? So they're going to try and make people afraid. And then all you've got to do is make sure you've got enough water, unplug everything. And then I'm going to suggest, having wet towels on standby in case cabling catches fire, that you could throw the wet towels on, because it's not going to be electrical. It's not going to electrocute you, because your electricity will be off. It's just going to be surging. I think, right? So, I've got to do a bit of deep delving into that, but I watched it this morning, and of course, been out since 2:00. I had coffee with somebody, and only just managed to get back in time to come and talk to you lot. So that's the two false flags that we're talking about. We're talking Robert David Steele, and he's very, very high up there. So I think that he's got good intel on that. And we've all said about solar flares. And then obviously the thing about the food, how do you hit people? Either their water or their food. A lot of places buy bottled water. UK would be easy to get to us through our water supply. But if they did drop it into a reservoir, it goes through so much of a filtration system. I don't know whether anything they put in would actually get through, to be perfectly honest. But we shall see. Herman de la Torre, hello from Argentina. Welcome, Hernan. Crypto Mike's in the house. We have a most amazing guy, Mike. Right, you need to go click and follow that man, because he is amazing. He has the most gentle soul. He is the most empathetic. He does great trading analysis, and and just an all-round nice guy. So go and give him a follow. We think that his following is being suppressed. So we're just trying to get the word out so that people can find him, because he's a really good guy to have on your watch list. Let's have a look. See, you've gone on book number. All right, okay. I don't speak Argentinian. A bit sick just come up, Devon. Corn. Oi, nothing wrong with corn. But although it's soya based, I have to say I prefer other stuff. But yeah, veggie. I'm a veggie. English, please, says Red Dog Leader. You're right, honey. Crypto Mike says, good, Steve, thanks. What about you? No, Mike, my Telegram's crazy busy. I'll dive in and check. A bit worried about the food lot. Right. Where food is concerned, what I would suggest is source some local food. Stay away from things like milk, cheese, and butter or marge for a little while, just for a little while. It's not a long time. All we've got to do is literally get through until November. So we've got enough stuff in the freezer. We don't need to buy any more freezer stuff, so that's good. And then what we're going to do is we're going into winter. Perfect time to start making things like casseroles and that sort of stuff, and using fresh food. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So Cryptomite says, yeah, I'm wondering if fast food will be part of it. It takes 2 weeks to see symptoms. Yeah, the thing is, Mike, the fast food that's sourced, that's a major source actually. That is a really good point. So again, what's it going to hurt not to actually eat out, send out, stay away from McDonald's. Pizza. Love my pizza. So it'll be hard to figure out which food it came from. Yeah. So stick to really locally sourced stuff just for a while. It's better safe than sorry. You know, I mean, I can only share what I see, and I'm trying to see as much as possible. I mean, I'm literally, from the time that I wake up in the morning, I mean, at 4 o'clock this morning, and I ended up going to sleep because I was on with Mike and a whole load of people on Telegram, as well as watching the YouTube on. I put YouTube on the TV. I have a YouTube on one of my phones, and then I have another phone that I talk to people on Twitter and Telegram and things like that. And what I try and do is get as much information in as possible so that I can disseminate it, because I rely on YouTubers that I trust to go and get information, and then I watch all the YouTubers I trust, and they're being added to all the time. And then what I'm trying to do is disseminate that information to you so that you can either pick it up, go and research it yourself, or take it on board and just play safe, whatever it may be. Because it's really important that people just have an overview of what it's all about. And I only touch a tiny, tiny bit of everything that's going on. 19 months ago, we reached peak global agricultural production. USA floods wiped out all grain stored in silos from the year before, which couldn't be sold due to all the trade issues. Very sad. But he's changed it. Trump has changed. He started to take away the regulations, right? And what's happened is, you know, the onion mountings and things like that, what it's done is it's highlighted that they can't sell the onions to the people because it's in breach of the regulations, because that food was grown to go to such and such a company. Right, well, that needs to change, and that's what Trump is doing. And we need to go back to basics, and that's what the Nasara and Jasara is all about. And I'm only halfway through. I'm watching Good Lion Films. Amazing, right? The guy goes, he's done an 8-hour special. I mean, how good is that? But basically, he got somebody in that was talking about Nasara Jasara, and he's been talking about the history. And oh my God, the history of the Nasara Jasara is ridiculous. And I mean absolutely ridiculous. This one specifically. Right, I've just pasted that. And I'm only halfway through. It's nearly, I think it's 2 hours 57. And I'm literally only an hour in, and then I had to go out. So I haven't managed to watch it all. But very, very basically, the Bushes. No wonder at George Bush Senior's funeral, when that piece of paper went to George Bush Jr., who he gave it to his wife, and his wife and his son, his brother, looked at and looked ashen, and all he did was he just looked forward. Right? He was detached. The man knew what he had done. Basically, there was I think it was a couple of hundred from the Army, Navy, and Air Force went into the White House, forced George Bush to sign for Nasara to go forward, and he signed it. That was in the August, I think, and then it was supposed to come into force on September the 11th. And that very day that was supposed to come into force, and the new financial system was supposed to take over, they blew up the towers. Too much of a Bush signed it. It was supposed to come in. Clinton, Obama, and Bush afterwards did everything in their power to literally stop it from ever coming out. They killed so many people. They killed so many people. It's ridiculous. Just you need to watch it, honest to God. I've got a bit of a lag on this, but I think you can see it. It's not coming up on mine. XRP bags in the house. Love that music with Lady E. That was bloody awesome. Crypto Mike says, Deb and Steve, DM me if you'd like to join my new Telegram group. Do it. Do it. It's a really good Telegram group. The one I just dropped, yes. That link there is to Good Lion Films. Guy's amazing. He has a lot of people in there that gives a lot of good information. But the guy, Lance, I think it is, that he was talking to, had some phenomenal information. He's got 29 he's got a presentation with 29 pages, and I think I was on page 8 an hour in. And he's gone through with a fine-tooth comb and literally the link to the video. Can you not see the link to the video? I'll put it. I've already shared it, but I'll put it in the Telegram group. Anybody, if you can either DM me on Twitter or Telegram and just say links, please, and I'll send you all the links of the stuff that I've been watching for the last couple of days, because it really is phenomenal. So anyway, so overview of the situation. Bad people, deep state, FEMA camps, health passports, New World Order, Trump, Nasara, Jasara, and you've got to look at the amount of money. How do the senators get so much money? They go in and then they come out with millionaires, right? They take it from the Nasara pot. That's how these people get the money, right? It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so the pot is there. The pot is actually there for the Nasara Jasara, and that means that the link is there. Cool. For some reason, my live chat is not updating, so I'll just keep watching it on the phone, which is underneath. So when I look down, that's what I'm looking at. It is something that you need to watch, Mike. It's really important. And if you and me could do a talk on here, you were saying about the fact you've got to be careful about what you talk about because of where you're living at the moment. Come on here. Let's talk. Let's do something together. But you'll have to talk me through how to get a Zoom call through YouTube. If you can do that, I will love you forever, honestly. But basically, yeah, come on here, because we both talk from the same hymn sheet on most of the things, and it would be really good if I could do that and then learn how to, and then get people in, because Rising Green's got some amazing plans for growing food, that people need to be able to listen to, because if you get more people like him actually doing what he wants to do, then food shortages out the window. The Robert David Steele stuff, what they were talking about was you could do growing inside some of these malls that are now empty. You could turn them into indoor growing stations, whatever they're called. So basically, XRP Carolina's in the house. How are you doing, honey? We can talk about this stuff for hours, honestly, and then we can get people in and out of the conversation once I work out how to do it. Callie is burning. There's ashes all over my house. Oh, do you know what, Mike? I was worried about you last night. I'll be honest. I was really worried about you last night. It was one of those things where I know that you got quite upset. Lady Enigma's in the house. I loved your music. It was awesome. You and XRP Bags. Again, go link to the Bags YouTube channel, and they do XRP music, and it was really damn good. And I'm not really into like rappy stuff or anything like that, because I'm old, right? Old school. And his music is fantastic, really fantastic. In fact, I've asked permission, and we're going to play some of the music at the DLT conference in Manchester on the 10th of October. 10th of October. Oh, and just to let you know, I'm actually doing a UK meet. I couldn't do it for this coming Saturday, so I've organised it for next Saturday. It's in the Beefeater, and it's in Redditch. I've put it up onto, in fact, I'll pin it to my Twitter, but I'm going to put out a link so that people can book in. I did it through Trivago, booked into the Premier Inn for £30 a night. It's really cheap. So I'm going up on the Friday and Saturday night. I'm coming back on the Sunday because I start uni on the Monday. So that makes sense to me. But it's the Beefeater, and it's B97 8AQ. That is the postcode of the Beefeater and the Premier Inn. Yeah, and Scotty's coming. You've got Hooded Suburban, Chris, a few of the other people. Obviously the diehards that like to come. Hopefully Dave is coming, XRP Dave. So again, it's just a case of everyone getting together and chatting shit and giggles all day. Let me just catch up. It's still not updating on my page. No, still not updating. Song was on fire, says XRP Carolina. You're right, it was on fire. Crypto Mike, I'm sorry, boo boo. I got fed up with what I was seeing, and Schwartz and Gunhouse tweets pushed me over the edge. In my eyes, these big tech corporations are totally exploiting Black Americans. It's not that. Think about it. Where are they? They're in San Francisco. Unless they come out on the BLM front, then they are running the risk of actually getting attacked. That's what I hope. I hope to God that they just didn't come down on a domestic terrorist organisation. Boo, what's the bunkers going to be used for? Oh, Han, Devon, Steve. Some of these bunkers are miles deep. Miles deep. So if you can imagine, right, underground cities, but levels deep. Some of these cities, they're not just one or two cities deep. Some of them are like five levels deep with cities. But the deeper you go, the more poverty that you get. And then they've got scientists working out of some of them. They're working on some really vile stuff to do with animals and children. They're trying to bring hybrids. They are, from what one guy turned around and said, that they got as many children out as they could in one of the bunkers that they took, and they were that disgusted with what they were doing down there. They killed all the scientists and they burned the place to the ground, because some of these people weren't human anymore and there was nothing that could be done for them. They are doing some really awful, vile things. Why do you think they're showing lots of different programs about the Nazis going over to America? Why do you think there's so much inference on the Nazi scientists being taken by America and then basically allowing them to keep on doing what they were doing under Nazi Germany, right? Why do you think 22,000 children a day go missing? A day. You know, this is it's a scary, stupid situation. The media is complicit. The governments are complicit. Anybody in power is complicit. The only thing that is happening, right, is you've got some good pockets of people, right? Putin, for all they say about Putin, he's turned and said, hands off my people. You don't touch mine. No chemtrails. Do not put your chemtrails over my country, right? You don't want to don't poke the bull, bear. Yeah, I mean, he's been adamant all the way through. And do you know what? Hats off to him. Hats off to him, because if more leaders were like him, we wouldn't be in the shit, crap situation that we're in right now. We have been lied to. They haven't just lied to us, right? They've controlled us. They've put us in front of TVs and programmed us. MK Ultra's got nothing to what a TV set will do to you. The whole from birth, cradle to grave scenario is completely wrong. We think we have the illusion of choice, and there is no choice. You're part of the sausage machine, and if you're not part of the sausage machine, and you go up against the establishment, then they're going to either kill you or put you away. Look at what they did to Tommy Robinson, right? From taken off the street and arrested to prison, to court 2 hours, to prison within 5. Now there's rapists and murderers that don't go to prison as quickly as that, and all he was doing was he was outside a court where a group of paedophiles were being they went in to get their they'd already been tried. They were going in to get their what's it called, where they tell them what their punishment is. So yeah, it's one of those really stupid situations, and people need to wake up. And Mike, you don't have to apologize for anything, right? If you ever need to talk, I'm here, because what you're having to go through is stupid. And I see people in America, and I fear for you. There's a couple of guys that have basically turned around and said, you know, we need to get together. We need to, you know, all of the different, and we know people, and they are struggling like hell. I mean, the deep dives, I go down, and this is what I said last night. I do a deep dive, and I think, okay, I'm red pilled. I'm awake now. This is the reality of the situation. And then something else happens, and there's another layer behind it. It's like God actually turns me and says, right, you've got to grips with that one, right? And grabs me and throws me down that rabbit hole and says, right, here's the next layer. It's like peeling an onion. It's never ending. Honestly, I just couldn't make it up. OBS Studio could probably handle the conference calls online. Yeah, I know. I just haven't actually worked out how to do that yet. Do you follow Kate Shermarani, Han, the nurse speaking at the protest? Yes, I do. Yeah, she was amazing. I understand the point of BLM and I support the movement, but I hate seeing people's hopes and dreams of a better future being exploited for political or monetary gain. BLM are not, they're not a Black Lives Matter movement. It's been taken over. I watched BLMers attack a group of people, gay and a female, that were going to the police station to see how their security guard was, because he got arrested by mistake, right? and they attacked him. They ran at the female. She had the phone. She's walking down the road, and you saw this man just come running for her, right? And throw it. I presume he threw her to the ground because he was gunning for her, right? These people are animals. They've got nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. If they were to do with Black Lives Matter, they would be out in the street about the children being shot by their own, right? They would literally be out there not talking about white cops and black people. That was it nine people last year? One person is too much, but 9 people. How many people have been killed? How many black people have been killed since these riots started? Let's put things in context, shall we? More people have died for the sake of one man who was dying anyway from an overdose. He wasn't killed by the policeman. So one person died, and more than the amount that get killed over a whole year have died so far. And they've destroyed all the mom and pops, all the small businesses. Whole sections of society have got no work now because a bunch of kids have been turned into a rabid fucking cult of people going around destroying stuff. It needs to stop. It actually needs to stop. These mayors that muzzle their police, defund the fucking police. You've got hundreds of people going out doing rioting, and they turn around saying they're peaceful protesters. Well, really? I'm arguing with people and I'm saying it looks like Syria, and they go, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." And I'm putting up videos, right, of people that are videoing Portland, the Chop area, and it's and you're sitting there and you're talking to these leftists, and you're saying, "Look what your BLMers and your Antifas are doing to your country," and they're like, "Oh, it's peaceful protest," and I'm like, "Get off your fucking television, right? Start watching real life, because you're never ever going to get it from that little box that sits in the corner or sits in the middle of your living room now, keeping you nice and compliant and stupid." And that's where we've got at the moment. That is literally where we've got. People are literally coming in, sitting in front of their television and getting programmed not to think for themselves, not to question anything, not to... I went to the gym today. This is how stupid it's got. In that gym, they've got, it's not a massive, it's about 10 foot end to end jacuzzi. And basically what they've turned and said is only 2 people can go in the jacuzzi at any one time. Okay, so 2 people can go in the jacuzzi. So if there's me and my sister, we can sit at one end, and then if somebody else there with their I don't know, brother or husband and wife or whatever it is, or just one person, they can sit at the other end. Oh no. Basically, you can have one person at one end and one person at the other end, and if that's you, your sister, then you have to sit apart. What? If you want to, you can sit together, but nobody else can get in the pool because there's 2 people in there. The world's gone fucking mad, right? So not only did they reduce it from a highly contagious, highly infectious disease back on the 19th of March, right? So negates the need for wearing masks, shutting businesses down, and quarantining healthy people. Now we find out that not only is it not highly infectious, but you can't catch it from somebody who's asymptomatic because they're not passing it on, apparently. So where's that on the news? World can open up. No, right? Because you've got to be good little sheeples and stay in front of your television and listen to what the government are telling you, because the government knows best. Government do not know best. They do not have your best interests at heart. They are not there for your benefit. They are there to do as they're told from the people up there that are literally so far beyond, they don't even recognize you as human because you're just down there. You're the little people, right? You are the slaves that they used to have in Egyptian times when they enslaved the Jews. And literally, right? They don't look at them as human, and they look at themselves as gods. And that's what they've got. They are so rich that they have done everything that they need to do by the time they're 18. So then they're looking for something else to get their jollies with, right? So they're thinking up all these different things that they can do. Oh, let's hunt children, shall we? Yeah, let's get the dogs out. 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 12-year-old. Let's just go and hunt children. These people are beyond disgusting. They're not human in their thoughts, because anybody that can do anything like that needs to be put down, right? Full stop. Anybody that thinks that they have a right to do anything to anybody else, especially children, need to be put in their place. And anyone that touches kids deserves to die. And I'm sorry, but I'm with Trump every single minute of every second that he's there. And if they've got a problem, I've got no problem pushing the button for them, right? I will sit there, all 30,000 of those paedophiles, I'll press the button, right? Dead. Anybody that touches kids doesn't deserve to live. And that's the end of it. Ran over. But as you do. From what I hear, they're pretty much farming children. Some of those kids in the underground bunkers are of 4th, 5th generation, never seen the light. They almost blind, never seen sunlight. Their skin literally burns the moment that they brought up. That's why that's why they had all of the power cuts. Don't you remember is it New York? They had power cuts, so I'm bringing the children up. Because they couldn't take the light. They just could not take the light. So many, less than 300 a year get news coverage. It's awful. The people are asleep, can't believe this is happening. And this is the thing. Whoa, what's that in the background? That colourful lamplight thing. Oh, that's oh, they've gone off. It's solar. They've gone off. This is what they are. But they're solar panels, solar powered. And basically what they do is they go all different colours. My mum likes it. They're just there as a bit of light for the conservatory. Darcy B's in the house. Hey guys. Let me just catch up. Doing great. I watch Officer Tatum and Candice. Candice Owens is my heroine, right? That girl, she can talk. And she's got facts and figures, and she just rolls everything off her, and there's no thought. She doesn't have to think about it, because she's probably practiced it so much that she can actually roll it off her tongue, and she can put people down, and she can put people in their places, and she is amazing. Kate, Piers, Corbyn, Mike Steele, all arrested this weekend. Just to shut them up. Unlawful arrests, they were released. What's the government hiding? Hancock going to lock us down soon. Yeah, we've got another lockdown coming. Basically, I heard that the 17th, but it's for our own good. The next lockdown is going to be for our own good. So what I've said to people is, if they do lock us down on the 17th or whenever afterwards, plan it. Pick a project, right? Look forward to it. Take the time. Don't spend your time in fear. Leave the TV off and just literally enjoy every second that you get in lockdown. Put your plan together on what you want to achieve, and then go ahead and do it, because you're going to have to do it anyway. There's no way around it. So instead of allowing them to make you fearful during the next lockdown, why don't you beat the odds, give them the old fingers up, and just do what you want to do, either decorating or something in the garden, or set yourself grab a series, binge watch a series on Netflix or on Amazon TV or the Fire Stick, or grab yourself a bunch of books and do some reading. Or like me, I'll be, well, if they lock us down, I'll be homeschooling. So all my stuff will be on online for university. Dude, Biden is using BLM to fund his campaign. He raised $1.8 billion already through BLM contributions. I left the documentation letters and bank statements in the Telegram earlier today. Yeah, I heard about that. That was some time ago. When you link onto the donate button on BLM, it takes you through to the company that organises all of the Democrat funding. And that is just ridiculous. Your meetup is on the 19th. That's when the next protest is in London in Trafalgar Square. If Hancock pushes more, I think it will be larger than the last one. Cool. I'll be with you in spirit. I couldn't get there this last time, and this time I won't be able to make it, but I will make one of them. OG's in the house. Contributions to BLM go to @Blue. They then fund the Democrats' candidates. Yeah. Mike says, lucky your gyms are open. They opened up end of July, but today was my first day that I went back in. And it's knowing what we know about the fact that it's not a contagious disease, that it's not likely to kill you, that children really don't get it, that actually it's the older generation that's at risk. And then you look at everybody walking around wearing their masks, being nice little sheeples, doing what they're told, not challenging anything. And then you sit there and it used to make me really angry. Now I just feel really sad, because these people are going to get to a certain stage of enlightenment and go, fuck me, what have I been doing? And I'm going to go, yeah, I know. So many people owe me apologies. It's unbelievable. So many people. Boo boo, I have downloaded the Gov UK. I'm exempt from wearing a face mask. Screensaver, and downloaded and printed the official badges. I'm exempt. And please remove your face mask so that I can understand you better. That's the official government UK printable download. Yeah, when people talk to me through a mask, I'm like, pardon? Can't hear you. I can't see your lips. Partially deaf. I need to watch your lips. There you go. Tony G says, I've never been to a gym. I think it would kill me. Well, I went to a meditation class, and then I got in the jacuzzi, which I had to wait half an hour because I had to wait for the two girls that were in there together to get out so I could get in. Ridiculous. Purging. Yeah. Do you know what they say about the fact that we've got too many people on the planet? Get rid of all the paedophiles. We'll have less people on the planet. If we've got less people on the planet, then it will make the eugenics people very happy with it. That's the fact. With the Nisara Jisara stuff coming in, I don't think that they should get a penny. So how about all of their money can go to their victims? That would be rather good. Most of the Democrat-run cities have been for decades, yet nothing has changed. Still the same arguments from the same people. I don't get it. I mean, there's just, I don't get it. See, you've got people. I was watching one of was it San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, one of them, and the guy turned around and said that they actually do not arrest people for shoplifting anymore. So you can go in and shoplift $995 worth of food, and they won't even arrest you. So how do you stop people nicking from your store? How do you stop people from stealing? How do you stop people from taking what's not theirs? What if they're not allowed to be arrested, are you allowed to shoot them in the arse for stealing from you? Or do you have to just go, yeah, thanks very much, see you later, bye? Where's the incentive for anyone to pay for their food? What message are you giving people if you're turning around saying, yeah, it's all right, we're not even going, doesn't matter, you go and nick £900 worth of food, $900 worth of food, we won't arrest you. You just go for your life. I mean, you've got a situation where you're not allowed to have plastic straws, right? Got to be paper straws, but they're handing out syringes. So you've got syringes all over the pavement, and you've got paper straws that you can't even get to the bottom of your cup before they actually fall apart because they're paper with fluid and liquid running through them. Anyone else see something really weird about that? Is it just me that think that basically that fucking world's gone mad? I mean, I don't get it. Who's Trump's new spokesperson lady? She's awesome. You talked about McKinney? Oh, if it's a person I'm thinking, she's my fucking hero. She is. I'm not going to London on the 19th. Planning on your meetup. Yay! Very few women actually come to the meet. It'd be really nice if we can get. I need to start getting numbers because obviously I've got booked tables. Now I booked 2 tables of 6 last time, and we only needed 1 table. So, but I'll try and get some numbers together so that we can get in together. But anyway, are you staying? That's the question, because I'm staying for 2 nights in the hotel, and if you book it through Trivago, that same hotel with that B97 8AQ, basically what that will do is you can get it for like £30 a night, which is bugger all. £61 if you book it through Premier Indirect. Casual crypto guys in the house. Where do I see this ending? Oh wow. Best case scenario or worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, people like me will be strapped to my homes for the rest of my life because I refuse a vaccine. Everything that I get will have to come via a delivery because I won't be allowed out. In order to get away from that, we've got to go back to basics. We just need to go back to the normal law that we set out hundreds of years ago. It's the English equivalent of what they've got in America, the First Amendment and everything like that. We've got a constitution. There is an English constitution. It's just that we're not allowed to have a constitution because England is not recognised as a country, even within our own borders. It's ridiculous. We've got England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. So Ireland, Scotland and Wales have their own devolved parliaments. England doesn't get one. I've said about this for a while now, and I'm speaking to one of the guys. His name's Daddy Dragon. He runs a YouTube channel, and he's an English Democrat, and he's pushing for us to go back to a basic constitution because we've got a UK law, but it's not. The United Kingdom is not a country. The United Kingdom is a group of countries. And there is, it's not like the States where you've got your 50 odd states and make up the one country. We've actually got 4 countries, England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, countries in our own rights. But for some strange reason, England is not recognised as a country. We're GB, we're UK. You can be proud to be Scottish, you can be proud to be Irish, you can be proud to be Welsh, but you can't be proud to be English, right? We're British. Even on application forms, you have the different countries, and you've got GB. You've got Irish Caucasian, but you haven't got English. You've got so many things, and it's just English. It's almost like they've taken English out of the records. And I find that really difficult to swallow because, I'm English and proud. I'm also proud to be part of the UK. I think Great Britain is a lovely place to live, but England, I'm English, and I actually have to write it onto application forms, English. And it's classed as racist to be proud that you're English. But I'm not saying I'm proud to be white. There's plenty of Black English out there that are proud to be English. And it's got nothing to do with colour. It's being proud of your own country. And England is my country. And I don't understand why anybody is trying to destroy that fact. Honestly, you could not make it up. I find it really difficult because you're talking about oppression and people being oppressed, and yet the English have been oppressed for decades. We're not allowed to be proud of English. We get challenged. Well, what is being English? Why would you be proud to be an English person? Why can't you just be happy with being British or European? Well, I'm English, then I'm British, then I'm European. In fact, before that, I'm human, then I'm female, then I'm English, then I'm British, then I'm European. I'm an earthling. And I don't understand why it's such a bad thing. The Irish, the Welsh, and the Scottish have got such amazing histories, and they're allowed to be proud of their heritage. Allowed to be proud. In fact, they demand to be able to be proud of their heritage. And yet the English aren't allowed. And I find that bizarre, and I find that very worrying. I find that very worrying because if you're born in England, then you should be allowed to be proud that you're born in England. I'm not born in the UK, I'm born in England. Same as somebody who's born in Irish becomes Irish. I'm English. I'm not British. Great Britain is not a country in itself. And people do tend to get that wrong. Darcy B says they're talking about opening the pubs here, but they want what everyone eats and drinks recorded. Oh my God, no sense to it. They want what everyone... Right, stay away from restaurants, because that sounds like what I was talking about earlier. Because if they're going to record what you're eating and drinking, that's how they're going to find you. I don't give my name when I go into any shop, restaurant. Sorry, I don't give my name out at all. It's got nothing to do with them, who I am. I don't. They have like a barcode. You're supposed to scan the barcode and check in. Don't do that either. I haven't got my phone with me. You can have my name, Anne Smith. Margaret says, won't another lockdown cripple more businesses? Definitely part of the plan. Yeah, but you've got to think of the long, as long as the best case scenario is Jasara and Nasara, then we're not going to have to worry about businesses and work and money and things like that. The new financial reset, if it comes to pass, I mean, they're going to have to... The unique thing at the moment is they've got to print money until the whole system crashes. And when they print money until the whole system crashes, then that money is coming to the people, not to the elites, right? So it's physically taking the money out of their pockets because they're expecting it to go to them. But it's not happening, right? It's not happening. So they're paying people to stay at home. which is great, right? Because all the time you've got money coming in, I don't get a penny. I'm not even allowed to claim. But all the time that you're being paid to stay at home, that's the elite screaming, because that's their money. That's what they should be getting. So I quite like that idea. But when we go through the financial reset, the elites will get fuck all because they've got money. But the people that haven't got money are going to get money. Whether that's a massive thing or a little thing, I've got no idea. You need to watch the Good Lion films, because the guy is sitting there saying everyone's due anything from 2 to 20 million. But what that does is that devalues the value of the money that you're getting. So, you know, it will cost you 10 grand to go down and get a loaf of bread at that point. But is that a bad thing? Think about it. So you're going to have surplus, you're going to have excess wealth. In order to get people to go to work, you're going to have to pay them stupid amounts of money, because they're not going to need to work. But you do need people to go to work, so you're going to have to incentivize them to do it. So in order to do that, you've got to pay them stupid money, which means that the value of the goods will need to go up. The value of the property and the assets, they're going to bring down. So things like cars and houses and places to live is going to reduce in value, because it's not going to be so much of an asset for you anymore, because you're not going to register your wealth through what you physically own, because it's not a case of what you own anymore, right? House prices, they reckon, could go down to 20% of what they value, what their current value is. But does that matter? Because you're going to get a lump sum of money and you won't have a mortgage. So bring it back down to what 2 years' salary would be. So if that means that, I don't know, a house goes down to 60 grand or 70 grand or 80 grand or whatever it is, instead of 500 grand, who cares, right? It makes it achievable. And then it brings everything back to basics again. This is where what is supposed to happen every recession. But what they do every single recession is they take the money from the people and they pass it on to the elites. 2008 was a run on property. They crashed the property market. Who ended up with the properties? The big banks, the massive corporations, the big landowners, the elites. And then what did they do? Wait until the prices went up, rented it out to loads of people, and then sold them off. Made more money, bought them in cheap. People were having their houses repossessed left, right, and centre. Somebody went in and paid way below market value for that house, and then they sold it on for more. Right? That was the biggest land grab ever. Every recession means that money goes from the hands of the people to the hands of the elites, right? To the banks and the big corporations. Look what they're doing at the moment, right? We're in the biggest recession depression that we've had in 100 years. People aren't feeling it yet, but what have they done? They've taken all the small businesses and put them out of business. What's left? Big corporations. So where's the money going? To the big corporations. You know, this is just yet another grab on. It's a grab on the money, it's a grab on the businesses, it's a grab on the market share. Who's the winners out of this? Amazon, big superstores, food supermarkets. They were the ones that were open. Everything else closed down. So who won? Big corporations. Who also won? Investment houses. Kept that one up, didn't they? Stock market didn't crash. Stock market didn't crash at all, which helps the economy, and I do get that, and it was a smart move. But, you know, anybody like me that was planning on the recession was sitting in cash. I was expecting it to dive so that I could jump in at the lower level. Done that one wrong, didn't I? Kaylee McKenney, that's her name. McInerney. Crypto Mike says they want violence. The masks, they serve more than one purpose. After the election, those masks will serve to protect many criminals. But the facial recognition, they're doing it through the eyes. They've got them. All of those people that are out there, Antifa, BLMers, did you not hear Fauci? Fucking arsehole, right? Dr. Fauci came out and turned and said, oh, not just the masks, you've got to wear eye coverings as well. That was a message to the BLMers. Did you not clock that? That was the message. Cover your eyes. They can get you on facial recognition. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. The guy's a liability. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, she knows how to shut them down. Oh my God, when she walked in, and we've been saying for weeks, where is Nancy Pelosi? Well, I'll tell you where Nancy Pelosi is. In fact, all the time that I'm doing my introduction, I'm going to play where she is on the screens behind me. And then they had her walking through the hairdressing salon without a mask on, right? On the day that she went into a press interview and told everyone to wear masks. And then had the audacity to come out and say, I was set up. That hairdressing salon owes me an apology. For what? Your secretary rang the hairdressing salon and demanded that they open for you to have your hair done. These salons, right, can't turn business away at all. They are starving. People are starving. They've got no money coming in. You, Pelosi, are stopping them from getting their money because you're refusing to actually have an agreement put together which will give money over to the people that need it on the stimulus checks. But instead of that, what you're doing is you're saying that you want to rebuild New York, Portland, all these different places. So you want extra money put into the stimulus bill to make up for the fact that these people have been running their cities so shamelessly, disgustingly, incorrectly, that they need billions in order to build them back up. Why? People were leaving. New York's going to be empty. San Francisco is going to be empty. All of the money is going away. You're going to end up with tent city. You're going to end up with something that resembles Baghdad and Syria after the bombings. And it's all your own fault, right? Defund the police. That $1 billion, that you defund the police. Mr. Cuomo, fucking idiot, right? What do you think you're going to do with that? You're going to buy yourself some social workers that's going to go down the road and keep peace between two people having an argument? Really? How many of them are going to get shot before you realise you're going to have to refund the police in order to protect the people? Very sad situation. They know Trump will win. Oh, Crypto Insomniac. How you doing, honey? Crypto Mike says they know Trump will win, and the chances of a sitting president losing a second term during a crisis like this are very slim. Yeah, but have you worked out what they're going to try and do? Literally, they're going for the mail-in voting. So on the mail-in voting, that's going to take, some of those aren't going to be counted for up to a week afterwards. So they're going to try and extend it. They've done it with one of the other interim elections. And a month later, they still hadn't got a result. And then Trump basically turned around and said, I think someone needs to go down and check this out. And all of a sudden they turned around and said, yeah, the Democrat won. Really? Really? Because the Republicans pretty certain that he won. But hey ho. So what the plan is, and this is why Pelosi told Sleepy Joe not to say that he'd won by the end of the night, not to concede, is because they're going to try and do that. So they're going to try and eke it out. And then after a month, they're going to turn around and say, actually, Biden's won. And then Trump's going to go, no, he didn't, I did. And then Pelosi is going to step in and say, well, okay, I'm the acting president now. Get out. right? And then you'll see civil war, because there is absolutely no way in hell that Biden is going to get elected. This is all a ruse, all a ruse. And I will absolutely guarantee on the 3rd of November, BLM and Antifa are going to be out in force to try and stop people from getting to the polling stations to put their votes in. It is going to get hairy scary out there. But I've seen some really good posts from people who turn around and say, if I have to crawl through broken glass, covered in honey, smothered in bees, then I am going to get out and do my vote on the 3rd of November. Amazing people, amazing people. And have you seen the amount of people that come out every single weekend, right, to show that they support Trump? Have you seen the thousands of people that turn out when he turns up for a little mini rally, and they all turn up at the airport, and he does his talk outside the hangars? Fucking awesome, right? The guy is beloved. 15 US cities already trialing UBI, I hear. UBI? Vet bro. How you doing, honey? I don't know what UBI is. UBI. Insomniac's in. I'll post you gin, boo. Thanks, Darren. That would be amazing. I'm tempted to go and get gin tonight, to be perfectly honest. Vet bro, I'm not sure about a Trump win. Wall Street wants more free money, and they know Biden will provide it. Biden will crash the economy. He'll take the stock market with him. He will. I don't think smart money is going to put their money or put their votes with Biden. Biden wants to crash the economy, bring in martial law, change the financial system, but have control on the cryptocurrencies that they're going to bring in, and then put people in FEMA camps that don't comply. Ultimately, everyone will get vaccines. The vaccines ultimately will have nanos, and then ultimately those nanos will lead into chips. But in the meantime, they're going to be linked to the AI. Then he'll allow Huawei to come in and do the 5G stuff. I mean, Sleepy Joe's in bed with the Chinese anyway, same way as Trudeau is. That's fucking ridiculous situation. Trudeau allowed Huawei to come in, steal the technology from their incumbent technology company that they had in Canada. That company went out of business. Huawei steps in, right? They're monitoring the whole fucking country. And from what I hear, they've actually got Chinese army sitting in Canada waiting to come over the border. Really? Really? Now, I heard that Trudeau had an ankle bracelet, so I don't know whether he's arrested, not arrested, fighting back, hiding behind the Chinese or what. But very interesting times. Again, another man I want to see go down. And have you noticed, just a thought, how many of these world leaders, they don't have children? Merkel, May, Boris Johnson's just got one. All these different, Trudeau, I don't think he's got kids, has he? All these different people, not children. I mean, Obama, they're not his kids. You know, Michael can't have kids, can he? But yeah, all these world leaders, no children. And then you got Trump. He's got some very good kids. It's an amazing family. How would Biden be good for the economy? He wouldn't. He'd crash the economy. Devon Steve, we are still subjects, I believe. Subjects of England. Do you think there was a significance to covering up Big Ben? Yeah. I actually haven't done a deep dive into that. I heard that there was a reason. Yeah, no. I watched a Doctor Who once that had something to do with Big Ben on it. That would be interesting to see. But no, I wouldn't like to comment on that one. But whatever it is, Big Ben is one of our national places of interest. So how would you take out? Okay, here's a thought. If you wanted to create havoc and mayhem in London, what would you blow up? You couldn't really blow up the Houses of Parliament, but you could blow up Big Ben. So when they done their little refurb of Big Ben, did they go in and do what they did on the Twin Towers and set a load of explosives? And maybe we're going to get our own false flag, our own drone that drives into the side of Big Ben to make it blow up and create mayhem. I mean, I've watched some really Weekend Warrior again. Went into the 9/11 thing. Oh my God, the footage that he's got, and it's pretty damning evidence that there was no plane. This is interesting to hear about as American European demographics. Yeah, God forbid you should fly the George flag. That basically we've been the English have been oppressed for decades, and nobody wants to come out and say it because everyone's afraid of being called racist. Just doesn't beg belief. Boo, my kids gone back to school today. Half their classmates suffering from anxiety because of the parents' fear. My kids, no fear at all, and I'm proud of that. Good for you. Good for you, Leonie. Vet says, I have to scan my face and scan a QR code to work now at the hospital I work at. It's some insanity. I have to scan my face and scan a QR code to work. Why? Scan your face. What temperature? Don't ever put anything over here. This is your pituitary gland. This is important. Do not put anything infrared, any sort of scanning gear or anything like that. You do not need it on there. That's your third eye. That's your spiritual point. Leonie says, most of the other mothers think I'm crazy because of my views. I'm like, what the fuck? Have you seen your kids? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And they're putting masks on children. Kids don't get this. Who come up with the idea that they needed to have masks? Honestly, you couldn't make it up. Rising Green says, I'm a Yorkshire man and always will be, boo. Yes, I've seen people writing down their numbers, buying a coffee, and I've seen the track and trace barcodes as well. Silly people, right? They get that XRP boo-boo. That's what they'll get from me. There's no free lunch. Rising Green. Yorkshire, centre of the universe. Crypto Mike says, personally, I don't fully subscribe to the idea of Jasara or even Q for that matter. Q kind of just wants us to trust the plan, sit in our asses and do nothing. Actually, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. What Q wants us to do is listen to what's said, go and do some research and find out the truth. Can't find out the truth if you're out in the street protesting against people that want to kill you. And it's not time. When he says trust the plan, right, there will be a call to action. There has been, I've seen, oh God, videos of people. I watched a fantastic one where a woman walked in and it was her turn to talk, and she was talking to the equivalent of the local council. And she walked in and she stood there, and she's there with no mask, and she stood at the microphone, and then she got up, she walked around and she went, you've been served, you've been served, you've been served, you've been served, you've been served. She served the whole fucking lot of them and said, you've been served because you have overstepped your authority by closing down businesses and taken away people's right to work, right? And she said, I'm going in, I'm going for it. I am going to you've been subpoenaed, right? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it under subsection 10A, whatever it is. And she went through a whole fucking lot. And she said, you actually don't deserve to be in the positions that you're in, because it's gone to your head. You're actually doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Right, it's getting a bit chilly. So I'm taking you to court. That'll be an interesting one. And then there was another one where a man went into, and it was a red state, and he walked in there and he said, oh, you lot, you should be ashamed of yourself. Good job you're wearing a mask, because I wouldn't show my face either. What you have done is absolutely disgusting to the American people. How dare you shut us down? How dare you think that you can overstep the mark and tell us what to do? Now, we're being nice and complicit at the moment, but I'm telling you now, I've been to war. I've stood for this country, and there are a million of us who are mobilizing. And when we come out to protest, we're not going to do it quietly. We're not going to be standing outside, raising our arm and saying the Constitution, right? We're going to go up against the people that are subjugating us. You have been warned, right? These people are coming to the end of their tether, but they're doing it in a smart way. And I think that Q is actually making people think, because instead of having a knee-jerk reaction, running out in the street and saying, I don't want to wear a mask, people are actually mobilizing and getting together and being smart about what they're going to do. There is a certain tipping point, and it's coming, right? All these allegiance that they were all doing, General Flynn, all the allegiance to the American flag and to the country, that was a militia. That was a call to order for militia, right? But it wasn't just the Americans. This is around the world, and people have responded. But what it's done, I don't know whether people realise, what it's done is it's deputised them. So everybody that's done that, and you put it on your Twitter, you put it on your Facebook, you put it on your YouTube, right? That is your proof that you're deputised, right? So if it comes down to it, you're not acting illegally. So make sure that you do your thing, and make sure that that's somewhere live that can be referred back to. Hopefully it's true, because that would be great for humanity, but I'm not ruling out the chances of it being some sort of psyop. Then again, that would mean Trump is part of the cabal. The psyop that we've got is everything but Q. Have you not realised? Q is making you question everything, right? A psyop is there to subjugate you and keep you dumb, to give you your thinking, right? That's not what's happening with Q. Q is giving you a tidbit and saying, go and have a look. Go and do your own research. Come to your own conclusions. I'm not going to tell you what to think. That is the opposite of a psyop. Everything else in your life is a psyop, telling you what to think, telling you what to do. Have you not worked that one out yet? Honestly, it's amazing. I'm so excited to be alive in this time. I go through my crisis of faith, don't get me wrong, but it's so nice to be able to watch what is actually happening and sort of have a clue about what's going on, rightly or wrongly, right? But to have a clue, not to be sitting inside watching the news, being a scared little sheeple, right? Not realizing that there's a bigger picture going on. Right? The XRP community, the crypto community, the QAnons, right? We are all part of the story, because we're watching the story unfold, and we red pilled. I don't think we've been red pilled enough. I think there's an awful lot more to come, and I think there's deeper layers. And I honestly do think that there's real shocking stuff that's going to come out for those that go looking. But yeah, what an exciting time! Absolutely exciting time. Vet says, agreed. It's hope these were true, but it seems unlikely. The Fed is only gaining strength as they lend more. The Fed isn't gaining any strength. They are literally printing money until it goes bankrupt. But the whole country needs to go bankrupt at that point. The Fed has been bought into the, I can never remember the name of it. The Fed has been bought into the, whatever it's called. Anyway, it's under Trump's control on that side of it. And I don't believe that's possible. Trump is part of the new elite. Elon Musk and a group of young entrepreneurs, Winklevoss, Buterin, the XRP people, Dorsey, they're all new elite. Not super clean, that's for sure, but much more moralistic than the establishment. There's always going to be somebody who rises to the top. Mike, that chat with Winklevoss, though, they're all off their nut. Do you know what? I actually think that Trump is thinking about the people, right? He's stupidly wealthy. He's kept himself away from the shenanigans that go on. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, doesn't do drugs. He's got a lovely family. They obviously love each other dearly. He adores his wife. It's obvious she adores him. And he's a religious man. So I don't think he's that good an actor, but I think that he's a very smart man. I think that he's dropping hints everywhere, if you know what to look for, and he's trying to keep the people positive, but letting us know at the same time everything is a communication where he's concerned. And I have to watch people like Santa Surfing, Praying Medic, you know, all of the anons that are used to watching him and deciphering what the actual real wording is supposed to be. A lot of the people who publicly hate Trump are on his side, actually, just keeping the illusion up. He needs this, the art of war. Yeah, I do believe that. Vet says, a reset would not ultimately solve the problem. Zombie corporations cause the economy to distort. Bad businesses should fail to make way for good, efficient corporations. The debt would return. Debt won't even be an issue. You're not going to be allowed debt under the new system. It's just not going to be an issue. They wouldn't be allowed to. Everything changes. Why do you think the CEOs have been stepping down left, right, and centre? They're getting prepared. They know what's coming. Vet says, we're just rats in a cage. I just like a nicer cage. The mind is a cage, says Crypto Mike. So true. Says Crypto Insomniac. Vet says, World Bank expects 130 million to starve this year versus the normal 9 million that starve every year. There is enough money in the world that not one person needs to starve. Cuomo is pure evil. Yes, he is, Mike. Let's get some military personnel out there on the streets. It's coming. It is coming. Vet says, I believe they allow the riots because they destroy more small businesses. The big businesses will get bailouts and be fine. That's what I was saying. Mike says, I almost think they're allowing the riots to let people prove themselves how destructive they'd be if they had any power. That's what Trump's doing. You've got to show people. The left will eat themselves, and that's what they're doing. I mean, what was it, Ted something or other? Who got chased out of his apartment, right? So he's down there, solidarity with the BLMers, and then they turn up at his apartment block and try and burn him, and he has to leave with his family because he's put the people that live next door to him at risk. They eat their own. They're called the loony left for a reason, and they're a rabid mob. Red Dog Leader says, well, no, Crypto Mike says universal basic income. Yeah, that's coming. It has to. We've got AI technology coming. People aren't going to be able to work. They're going to have to find a different way of doing things. Universal basic income is the only way to be able to provide people with enough for them to be able to live. Otherwise, you end up with an Indian slums, and the elite stay elite, and the poor get really fucking poor. Maybe there's a reason that they haven't totally stopped him, because they have to show the left, the Dems, for who they are. Have to show, because things have to look so bad so that when you're given an option for something to change, you're going to grab it. You're going to grab it. Now, whether or not that thing turns out to be good or bad depends on which person wins the race. So, and I'm not saying that's Biden versus Trump. That's Trump being a good guy or a bad guy. I honestly think he's a good guy, but I could be wrong. This could be the deep state versus the Illuminati. It could be the power struggles of one family versus the other 12 families, so, but it's just that the dystopia that we would have under the one family is better than what we would get if the deep state got in. So we won't know. We won't know until the end of this, right? And all I hope that everything turns out right, so that on end of days, when it's our time to go on, that whatever it is spiritually that we're supposed to be able to do actually does get done. Because I've heard that because of the way that this is actually sectioned for us at the moment, that our spirituality isn't enough in order for us to ascend and go on. So we just come back and do it again. And we need to be able to ascend and go on. And the only way that can happen is if we step out from under the slavery, the sausage machine, whatever you want to call it, that turns us into drones for our whole lives until we die. And it's, I just hope. I have good hope on that. I really do. Red Dog Leader says they will keep finding and counting votes into next May. It will go to the Supreme Court, and final result will be the results on November 3rd. DJT will be seen as stealing the election. This is too easy. Yes, it is. UBI, Universal Basic Income. Sorry, yes. DeFi will allow UBI. Yes, it will, Red Dog Leader. Trudeau is just like Obama. Trudeau's worse. Honestly. Because he's fucking smarmy. I mean, the guy, Obama, I mean, was bad, but Trudeau gives me chills. Obama I don't like. I actively disliked him from day one. But Trudeau gives me chills. That I mean, his dad, Castro, come on. He's the spitting image. The economy is already destroyed. 48% of Americans were already receiving governmental aid before COVID. The jobs numbers you see on TV are the U index. Unemployment now is double the 1929 depression. But there's more people, don't forget, as well. Mike says, I love Ivanka. She's so well spoken. Yes, she is. She's so, I mean, Ivanka and Melania, they are so graceful. Absolutely graceful. So Mike asks, are you going to buy a Tesla, Vet? Dem Steve says, cities that want to defund police doing it so they can be bailed out with federal money. But Trump has put a stop to that, told them that they've made the bed, they're to lie in it. Absolutely. Absolutely. You allow your city to be destroyed, and then you put your hand out and expect taxpayers to pay for it. Don't think so. That's not the way the world works. Vet says, a red dog leader, I just follow the money. Totally. Vet's got a 12-year-old, no GPS in my vet. 500 BHP, it's enough car for me. I guess the 500 is enough. 500? I'd be happy with 500 brake horsepower. As long as the torque was just as good, obviously. Torque's got to be up there to make the BHP work properly. Vet says, Red Dog Leader, lately I've been more into watching some of the macroeconomic people, learning how the Fed and economy itself works. No matter which president, 1 = 1 won't be able to equal 3. We're screwed. I just don't want the debt. I feel like the more debt I have, the more I'm owned. The Yates plant shut down. So many are still waiting for the vet they pre-ordered. Darcy says, I'm with you, boo-boo. 100% agree with you. However, current president is not part of the system and cannot be controlled, and that's why he's hated so much. I don't look at the party, I look at the actions. That's why I've been fighting with people left, right and centre when they turned and said, oh, he turned and said that the dead soldiers were losers. Fuck off. What's the first thing that he did when he got into power? Right? He looked after the vets. Somebody that doesn't have any respect for veterans would have left it the way that Obama done, with fuck all actually changed. But he did, and he proved himself. So anybody that's going on about, oh, he said this and he said that, I'm like, really? Actions speak louder than words. And this is one situation where you can actually 100% turn and say, not a fucking chance did he say that. Plus the fact, if he'd have said it way back then, they would have eaten him alive at that point. At that point, he's been given no recourse the whole time he's been in office. Anything that he says, they rip it apart. They try and turn it into something different. If he'd have actually said that, oh my God, they would have completely gone to town on him, and they didn't. They waited till a couple of years later, and they say, oh yeah, I remember he said that. Really? I don't think so. Get a brain. I saw a bill, didn't see it pass. Then, even then, it's Treasury better than is the Treasury better than the Fed? We'd still be ruled by a central authority. What happens when a Democrat eventually gets in? Right, the Treasury is run by the government. The Fed is run by the elites. Right, the Fed is a private bank. The central bank system is privately owned. Right, so anything that takes the privacy away from the central banks is a good thing. And then what you've got to do is you have to write its own constitution where it cannot be used against the people. That's what needs to happen. But then with crypto, if you've got decentralized, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you run your own money, do your own thing, and they can't do anything with it. It's only if they centralize crypto that people will have a problem. Without debt, how will people buy a car? Would that not be more oppressive? R-Star. You're right. No, basically what would happen is you would save. You would save your own money to buy your car, because the prices will not be the expensive prices that we've got now. The Fed is a private organisation. At least the Treasury is directly tied to the administration. But yeah, it all depends on who's in power in the end. You know, if there is no debt, then all the zombie big businesses will fail. They cannot operate without it. Funny that, huh? Casual crypto guys. So we're okay then. Our loony left have Diane Abbott. Yeah. That's just a poor excuse. I'm sorry, but that woman, you know, we want another 10,000 police on the street. Well, how much is it going to cost to do that? Oh, about £50,000. What, a year? You're going to pay him five grand, £5,000 each. Really? Okay. The woman hasn't got a clue. Sounds like trading King James for King John to me. I think all presidents are puppets. They are shown the JFK assassination, told you will say this. That's where it needs to change. That's why the elites need to be taken down, and the power struggle that goes on needs to be transparent, right? So when you turn money and the financial system into something that's crypto, everything's transparent at that point. So if it's transparent for us and we can't hide money, then it's going to be the same for them, and neither can they. So every bribe, every transaction, scrutinized, absolutely scrutinized, and that's what we need. That is what needs to happen. And if you go into office, then you have to sign something to say, I will be completely honest and open and upfront, and if I fuck up, I take a bribe, I do anything, then I deserve to be chucked out and I give up my position. That's why they don't want a debt reset. Good point about the big businesses needing debt. Absolutely. They hate Trump. I'm going to have to look into Trudeau some more. Oh my God, the guy, Castro. He's the spitting image of Castro. Honestly. It just so happened that his mother was around Castro at the time that he was conceived. Vet says there are more people, but it's irrelevant. That means there are more consumers as well. Unemployment numbers as a percentage are double the 1929 depression. White says that pisses me off. It's so crazy. That was all on the left news stations. The zombie corps can't survive without it. They have to go, or we end up in the same debt bubble. One or the other has to give. They have to give. They have to give. It's not going to be the people anymore. It can't be. The key word, alleged. Alleged. No one seems to want to emphasize that word or explain it to some of the more simple viewers. That's what the humongous and nasty political struggle has been about this whole time. Warren Buffett knows the central bank's taking massive hits soon. Hence, he put his money and puts it all into gold mining. Not gold, gold mining. Well, Elon Musk is saying that if we can get up into the universe, then all of the mining that we currently do and rape the earth of the natural minerals, we can actually go and do on meteors, go up into space. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God, 2 hours. Hold on, I've nearly caught up. Were you at Dover yesterday, Boo Boo? No, I decided not to go. Saturday it was. I went to the Runnymede and the police were there and they were clocking people. So I'm going to pick and choose because I am anti taking illegal, I don't like calling it, illegal immigrants into the country and put them up in 4 or 5 star hotels, especially when I am stuck and they won't help me. And I've lived here my whole life. So I'm unemployed and I'm homeless and I can't do a damn thing about it. Right? And the reason I can't do anything about it, because they won't house the person that's in my house. If I was in my house, I could get unemployment benefit and I'd get help. I can't do it because the person that's in my house won't move out until the council house her. And they won't house her until I get an eviction order, and I can't get an eviction order because the courts are closed, right? So basically, the council are making me homeless and they're making it so that I can't get any money because they turned around and said that I should stop paying my mortgage and live off the rent that I get, in which case the house will be repossessed. So I lose my home. catch-22 situation. 50% of small businesses killed. Are we winning? Crypto Mike says, boo-boo, be safe out there. Doesn't make sense. This will all flip soon, by December. Boo, the people have been put up in hotels. They speak perfect English. You think something else is going on? Oh boy. Well, if the truth be known, I mean, they're talking about insurgents being bussed into places to start the civil unrest that needs to happen if the governments are going to be overthrown and the new world order brought in. So they've been training, this is what I said to my mum earlier, they've been training people for the United Nations. What if they actually MK Ultra them? How are you going to get soldiers to go up against their own people in a civil unrest, especially when the civil unrest is about the oppression of the people, right? So how do you stop the soldiers coming out on the side of the people? Brainwash them. Or you bring in people that are hired for money that will do anything for money, unfortunately. So, and that's the worrying thing. Vet says, I want to be positive. It's just hard with the economics numbers the way that they are. I'll keep buying food. Do you know what? Just buy protein shakes. Honestly, right? We're not going to have a situation where there's no food, right? It's not going to happen because you want to see a country burn. Don't give them food, and there's not a place in this country or any country that any elites would be safe, right? Never going to happen. So what they're going to have to do is if there's a food shortage, we'll end up having, like we did, rationing, right? So you're going to have food, just won't be able to get the food that you want. So if you've got protein shakes, then what you can do is you can subsidize. I mean, I've got Key Diet stuff. 4 of them a day gives me not a lot. I mean, it's 250 ml a time. Or you know, I can do the shakes. You can do the soups. You can do the small dinners, but it's all done with water. But 4 of them a day, 100% of your daily nutrients, nothing else required. So if you wanted to top up from the food stamps, the food that you get, then you could do that and use that. So it's not going to be a case of there won't be any food. There's just going to be a shortage of food. And to be perfectly honest, you're only going to need to do that for a maximum of a year, because by the time the end of this year comes and we're going into next year, lots more people will be planting their own food. Loads of people are doing hydroponic stuff, and there will be food there, and then people will be able to swap their marrows for the strawberries and whatever it is that you're going to do, tomatoes, and you will go back to having the ability of having the farmers markets, the equivalent of farmers markets again. So all you need to do is you need to be able to subsidize your nutrients. You know, meat, not sure will be a thing. I mean, I've gone vegetarian anyway. So, you know, have your supplements. I mean, I literally live on so many supplements at the moment. It's unbelievable, because if I want to stay healthy, then I've got to make sure that I get what I need. So vitamin C with zinc, all of the different vitamin B complexes and everything like that, because of the fact I've gone vegetarian. But from a body's point of view, collagen, all these things, I don't need to eat food to get them. Magnets, right? Helps with the pH level of my body. So I can be fairly healthy even with a reduced diet. So I've got a constant ordering every single month. I get sent a load of supplements, and that's enough for me. So all you would need to do is make sure that you've got enough supplements, minerals, dried food, protein shakes, whatever it is, to supplement for a while. Nothing ever goes bad for a long time, right? So farmers will be able to, especially if we manage to take over the control of the weather from the people that are trying to do bad things with it, then yeah, I mean, basically, it's something that won't even be a problem if they manage to wrest that away from them by early next year. So, but it's just better to be safe than sorry, right? It's better to have a surplus rather than have a lack of, and it's peace of mind. Oh my God, Notorious is in the house. Oh, Notorious. Again, anybody here? Got 21 people in, 17 thumbs up. Go and subscribe to Notorious. You want something that's going to make you FOMO into XRP as soon as you finish watching it and screaming for more every time that he brings out an epic video, then you've got to sit there and watch. Amazing stuff. I love it, the way that he mixes in all the different superheroes into the films, and it's like he wasn't in there, and Spider-Man and Batman and oh, amazing. Love you, Notorious. Mwah. But Cryptomite says, so we can't buy food unless we have a chip to get in the store with, or you order and have it delivered, because what's Amazon going to be doing? Rising Green said, boo, I need 6,000 calories a day to think. Get it in wine. It's 1,000 calories for a glass, for a bottle of wine. I'm a spoiled American, so I need a variety. Hey guys, says Notorious. Can't work, can't shop, just like the mask now. That I refuse to wear the mask. Just not doing it. Not in a million years. I don't have to, obviously, because of my asthma, but I wouldn't do even if I didn't. Devon Steve says, missed a bit. Mrs. Devon just arrived home, catching up. Hey, Notorious. Cryptomite says, yeah, of course, the masks were a compliance. Darcy B says, I live in the middle of nowhere, all farmland. I won't go hungry. No, you won't. But the masks, have I ever shown you my mask? If I ever get asked or told that I have to wear a mask for something, I'll be like that. All right then. Okay. There you go. That's my mask. It's from a belly dancer's outfit, would you believe? It's quite smart, really nice, just as effective as any other mask out there. And yeah, I think it looks quite nice. And the beauty of it is, when I finish with it, I can use it. Sorry. It's one of those things. Kung Fu Trooper says, that's great. Just shot in the whole outfit, boo. Yeah, you wouldn't want to see that, trust me. Belly dancers, yeah, they have a belly, and I've got a belly for a reason. But yeah, it's the trouble is, and this is the next thing that's going to be coming. Maybe you could brand it. Yeah. The next thing that's coming is they're going to try and tell us to cover our hair. Have you not gathered? Right. So basically, what they want us to do is cover our faces. So cover your nose and mouth. And then they've come up and said, you've got to cover your eyes as well. Crispy. Crispy. I was at the gym. We had coffee before I left him there to go swimming. Right. So think about it. People with hair. If you're bald, you're lucky. You won't have to do it. But people with hair. What's the next thing they're going to do? They're going to turn around and say, oh, well, you've got to cover your hair. So we want you to cover your mouth. And you've got to cover your eyes. And you've got to cover your nose. And then they're going to come out and they're going to say, oh, it's a really bad one, this one. You know, we need you to cover your hair at the same time. And then if you have to cover your hair, what have I just turned into? Literally. Cover your face, cover your nose, cover your eyes, and cover your hair. A post box. Yeah, exactly. Now, that is what's next. Women will have to cover their hair. And I actually believe that this is notorious. I actually believe that that's the next step. And this, and think about Trudeau, think about what he's doing. This is the Islamification of the Western world. Think about it. Bit by bit by bit. All of your everything that makes you you. I love my hair. I love my eyes. That's about the only things that I like at myself, right? So if he was to turn around and say to me, what do you like about yourself? I would say my eyes and my hair, right? And that's what makes me unique and gives me a bit of self-esteem. You take that away from people, where's their self-esteem? Turns them into a little bit more sheeples, takes away their sense of identity. What it also does is, I mean, they're telling people to wear masks when they have sex now. They're going to be mandating for people to wear masks in their gardens and their homes. You know, some of these places already tried to do that. You know, they're asking people to snitch on their neighbours. You know, it's one of those things that it's a very slippery slope. And unfortunately, if we carry on the way that we are going, I see that is where we are going to end up. So we won't be leaving the house. We won't be interacting with people. How are we going to get married? Have babies? Going to have to apply for it. How do you do that? So you go down and you will either have I don't know, a clone, or maybe an egg where you've got sperm donated. They want to take away the nuclear family. So the mother, father, and kids. They want to take away your sex. So you are it, or they, right? You're not he or she. And they've been doing this for years. So they take away that. So they've been taking away your identity, your national identity. So like with the British and the English, they've been trying to absorb us into Europe. They took 29 countries into the European Union and tried to destroy their national pride. Luckily, it never happened for Great Britain. But they'd already done it to the English. So we can't be proud to be English. Therefore, that little tact worked. So you've taken away your sense of identity to your country. You can't have pride in your colour, because that is racist. You can't have pride in your sex because, you're not going to know whether you're male, female, what you want to do. Can't be proud of how you look, because that's self-esteem. You've got to cover yourself up. You've got to be scared to show your face. You've got to be petrified to be out without a mask on, without hair done, without your hair covered, without your eyes covered. You're gonna, ultimately, you're gonna wear the full thing. They've already got men wearing skirts. They've been defeminizing women for years. So where does that end up? Where does that end up? You end up by being an automaton. You become the slave to the system. Good little cheaple. Somebody who does their work, exists, pays your money over, pay your taxes, and pay for the elites to have more, and be glad that what you've got is good enough. And that's where I see the bad side of things going. And that scares the hell out of me. I've seen it coming for so many years, and I've been shouting about it for a long time. I just haven't had the platform. I started last April, really, doing streaming. I did a couple before that, but yeah, probably about last April is when I properly started to stream, and that was when I started to talk about things like this, and it resounds. I mean, people get it. It does resound because it's not meant to bring people down. It's meant to make people think. And the thing is, we have already given up so much of our identity, of our rights, our right to fresh air. How easy was that given up? To protect other people from what? A non-contagious disease. It doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, people aren't thinking. They've proven they're not thinking. And that worries the hell out of me. That does worry the hell out of me. But will people really fall for hair? They've fallen for everything else so far. Why wouldn't they? They've got you washing your hands every 10 seconds. They've got you cleaning your steering wheel of your car when you get in and out. They've got you cleaning the trolleys that you're using, going around the supermarkets, not touching anything that you're not actually going to buy. Think about it. It's already started. When was the last time you took something off the shelf and then felt guilty because you had to put it back? It's they've got people walking around and questioning, why don't you have a mask on? You get the looks. When did what I do have anything to do with what anybody else thinks? What gives other people the right to tell me what to do or question me? It's coming. It's coming. I know that's coming. I'm waiting for it. Trust me, I'm waiting for it. Rising Green says, hit the nail on the head. Took the words right out of my mouth. I'll name that tune in one. Tony G says, will women still wear bikini thongs though? That is the question. Oh, hell yeah. But nobody will know it because she's not going to have a man or a woman to go back to. Why is Trudeau buying into it? Canada used to be notorious for their individuality. Because Trudeau is being bought by the Chinese. He's into communism. Look who his dad is. Trudeau's not buying into it. He's creating it. Yeah, he is. I thought everyone wore a mask when they had to. when they have sex, boo. Yikes. That's called something different, mate. That's not a mask. Shari says, BLM is funded by Soros, Open Society Foundation. When you donate to them, it goes to Act Blue. Act Blue then gives the money to Democratic politicians. Absolutely right, Shari. Chris B says, I wear a paper bag. Taking away all the good stuff. Rising Green says, that's why the school curriculum changes so fast. Even with maths teachers don't know what's going on. So how are you to sit and help our children? Oh, do you know what? The amount of parents that have been looking over their kids' shoulders and seeing the shit that they are being taught, it's made them question why they're sending them to school in the first place. That's been a wake-up call. Trust me. Casual crypto guy, fuck it, gonna buy a caravan and roll with the travellers. Yeah, you can't actually go wrong with that one, because nobody messes with them at all. Not a bad idea, says Rising. Not this call sign. Chris B says they might have some doing that, but not me. Crime is going to go through the roof if that comes in. Kim Schwartz, hi beautiful, love from the USA. How you doing, Kim? Yeah, I just see so many bad things that are going to happen if we don't stamp it out right now. Yes, I think that Trump is going to have something to do with the fact that America is going to be okay. And I think that seeing what America are going to do and how they're going to treat it and what they're going to be fighting for is making people have pause for thought in this country and every other country around the world. I honestly believe that. The thing that I'm hoping is that obviously crypto comes in before any of this gets to a stage where the oppression turns into a civil war. I was hoping that maybe we would jump over that, because we already started in Britain when we voted out. We basically gave to the EU, and we signed their demise, because every other country around the world was watching what we were going to do. And all the countries within the EU, the other 28 countries, awful lot of them went, well, if they can leave, why can't we? Why do they get to keep their nationality and we don't? And there's been this rise of nationalism probably for the last, I'd say, a good 10 years. It started with the UK when we turned around and said, no, we're not going into the euro, right? Because there is no way in a million years that the British people would have allowed our sterling to have been changed. You know, we're proud of the fact that we used to have the world currency. I mean, it's not too long ago, but basically that was the death of the EU. We knew that when we voted out. We realised, but I was begged by an awful lot of my friends, you know, make sure that you leave, make sure that you manage to get out, because if you do it, we can do it. Awful lot of people from so many different sources. You know, it wasn't just the Polish, it wasn't just the Dutch. Dutch are pissed off with it. French. And some of the French, not all the French, some of the French were well for it. Some of the Germans wanted out long time ago. You know, and having this happen, having us leave, has given them the gonads to be able to turn and say, well, actually, do you know what? We want the same. You saw it. There was a rise in the nationalist leaders being voted for. Le Pen. They tried to put her as a far right racist, right? She was just a nationalist. Same way they tried to paint UKIP as a far-right, racist, xenophobic party. They managed to do that with the English Defence League, and then that actually got infiltrated by white supremacists, and they just filtered out. They'd done what they'd done. I'm sure that was a psyop that did that. But the English Defence League was literally there trying to protect people from the raping. That's what they started off, the raping and the disrespect for that was being shown to our soldiers coming home, spat out in the streets. That's how the English Defence League started. And then the BNP, the British National Party. So you can have a Scottish National Party, you can have a Welsh National Party, you can have an Irish National Party, but the British National Party, right? This is the man that basically, can't even remember his name now, but that man called out pedos way before his time, and was turning around saying that we had a massive problem with the grooming and raping of our kids, and they put him in prison for a year. And then every single time that he managed to get any sort of platform, they literally almost lynched him because the media told everyone that he was a racist, right? The British National Party had loads of black people in it, literally loads of black people, and so did the English Defence League. The English Defence League, I had one of the guys come knock on my door when I was doing the Vote Leave stuff and organising for Vote Leave. Just turned up my door, massive, great big, tall, about 6'2", 6'3" black guy, and went, "How can I help?" And I went, "What do you want to do?" He went, "I'm one of the top people in the English Defence League." And I went, "Really? Didn't know they had any." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm the guy that's dressed head to foot in the patriotic St George gear, St George's Dragon. He wears the full uniform." He said, "Because wherever I go, they will not take a picture if I'm on there, because I'm not part of the narrative, because the English Defence League is supposed to be completely racist." He said, "So up yours to them." Basically what I do is I go dressed in a patriotic St George costume, right? I go as a knight, and I'm there, and I'm at the front. He said, "And nobody would guess it, and I'm going up yours to the establishment by doing it." And I was just like, wow, fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But you just don't know. You just don't know. The thing is, it's only now that people are starting to realise just how much the media has been lying to them. And basically, if you go back, how many years? 20 years, right? 20 years ago, what happened? You've got Lady Diana. You've got Jimmy Savile. All these people that were pushed and tried to be vilified. And then you look at what they do now, and you look back and you think, shit, was any of it right? Was any of it true? Was any of it real? You just don't know. You have to go deep dive on that. Because even 20 years ago, I think we were being manipulated. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. And on that note, I think Kim says you're going to be okay too. Yes, we are. Darcy B says, "I like Sasha Stone for what he is speaking out." Shari says, UCLA and Stanford released research this week that says if you are between 50 to 64 years old, then your chances of dying of COVID is 1 in 19.1 million. More chance of winning the lottery then. I'm 51, so I'm in that. Crypto Mike says, doesn't work anymore. Racism is a word that's just been overused and played out. It doesn't mean anything to me, except for that the person using it is more of a racist than the accused. Absolutely, yes. Rising Green says, boo boo, my lady, tip of the hat to you, lovely. Guys and girls, honour and a pleasure. Keep on keeping on. I bid you all a very good evening. Shari says, Kayleigh McEnany, Trump's new press secretary, she rocks. Well, she's not quite so new, but she is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love her. I think she's flaming fantastic. But I have been on here for 2.5 hours, and I think it's gone 10 o'clock at night. So I think that's time. Darcy says she's hot. Oh, do you know what? She's had the kid, right? And she's still got a lovely figure. I'm just so jealous. So jealous. But good for her. Good for her. She's a lovely, lovely, lovely lady. And what she's been through is huge. XRP Ball says, smash the lights, guys. Thank you, Darren. Right. So I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. Stay true to yourself and stay safe. And Red Dog Leader says, I'm jealous of her figure too. Mike thinks she's hot too. Yeah, all right, go away. Right, Kung Fu Chiba, Leonie, pleasure. Thank you for coming in, and I will catch you another evening, possibly tomorrow night. Depends how much more information I can get together. All right, you take care. Have a good evening. Bye.